They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Let's talk about Trump's constant dehumanization of immigrants as he carries out his mass deportations, and how we as Americans, whether or not we come from immigrant families, hold on to our humanity as we stand up against fascism. Hey, please subscribe. I'm new at this. You'll be one of my first subscribers, plus it's free. These are real videos and memes from the official White House social media account since Trump took office the second term. You could tell that the social media manager relishes degrading and dehumanizing immigrants, doing it as entertainment, and you can dismiss it as trolling, but we know the long history of propaganda in ethnic cleansing in places around the world throughout history. Alligator Alcatraz, very cute, already the site of many human rights violations since it was opened a couple months ago. An E.T. meme, even E.T. knew it was time to go home. Yeah, someone commented, I hope Steven Spielberg sues. You may think you're crazy to wonder if this is real, but yes, this is real. Another DHS tweet: to every criminal, illegal alien in America, darkness is no longer your ally. You represent an existential threat. Existential, like human existence, threat to the citizens of the United States. And U.S. Border Patrol will stop at nothing to hunt you down. Here's an official White House tweet. Virginia Becerra Gonzalez, a previously deported alien felon convicted of fentanyl trafficking, arrested by ICE in Philly in the Studio Ghibli style. If you are arrested for fentanyl trafficking, you should probably be deported, but it's the dehumanization of all immigrants through a meme like this.
That's £200 off for a family of 4.
And I'll leave sound off for this one. This is the White House getting in on the Jet 2 Holidays meme. This is the song Hold My Hand by Jess Glynn, and Zoe Lister does that famous voiceover for Jet 2 Holidays. And she asked her Instagram followers, hey, can anyone help me? What can be done about the White House using my voiceover to promote their nasty agenda? There's your Valentine's Day message, roses are red. There's a tweet from the DHS account back in July. Which way, American man? Okay, this is a nod to a well-known white nationalist text, which way, Western man. You look at the signpost, cultural decline, homeland, invasion. Fixed it for you. That's a good comment. America hasn't forgotten that Trump's in the Epstein files. Here's a Facebook post from DHS. American Progress, John Gass. This is invoking Manifest Destiny. You see indigenous people fleeing. We've been hearing a decade of this, but let's never forget, ever since he came down that escalator throughout the campaign in his first term to the present day, we cannot forget what he's been saying about immigrants, mostly black and brown.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people. Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
It's nothing new. The dehumanization started way, way back. This is Trump a full year before he got elected the first time, January 2016, at a rally talking about Syrian refugees misappropriating an old song, The Snake.
I read this the other day and I said, wow, that's really amazing. That's really incredible. And it's the Snake lyric. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Interesting. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman. Sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up, cozy, in a curvature of silk, and then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bit me. Heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Does that make sense to anybody? I read it and I just thought I'd put it together. We have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea who we're taking in, and we better be careful.
Calling immigrants animals, and not just any animal, a snake, like he called his political opponents back in the day vermin.
If you don't use certain rhetoric, if you don't use certain words that maybe are not very nice words, nothing will happen.
Trump's attacks extend beyond immigration.
The communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin.
I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in. The crime is going to be tremendous. The terrorism is going to be, and then we built a tremendous piece of the wall, and then we're going to build more. And the election was rigged.
The ugliest kinds of dog whistles and tropes that he's really rescued from the dustbin of some of the worst parts of our history in this country and around the world. And then you've got someone like his Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, getting in on the act, in on the entertainment, the cosplay, the costume parades around a place like Sikop Prison in El Salvador, where immigrants have been unconstitutionally deported.
Kristi Noem is facing intense backlash today for this photo op at the world's most notorious prison, known as the Hellhole.
If you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face.
She recorded the video in El Salvador in front of a cell holding dozens of bare-chested, tattooed prisoners.
Do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted.
This is messed up.
Now, even conservative commentator Megyn Kelly is blasting Noem for using the prisoners as, quote, props.
To use them in this way as her backdrop to show us how cool she is and how tough she is gross.
Did you see this disturbing clip from The Good Liars? These are 2 comedians who host this YouTube channel, get lots of funny content, interviewing people. And when this host realizes the ugliness, the hate behind the comments of the guy he's interviewing, he literally breaks character. He cannot continue the interview.
Do you actually work for ICE?
No, not at all. Nope.
Explain the outfit.
It's $29.99 on Amazon. I would recommend buying a small if you're my size. This one's a little too loose for my liking. But yeah, if you want some entertainment, wear this and go to a Home Depot in a sanctuary city like where I live right now, Washington, D.C., and you'll see all the illegals. Not all of them, but you can maybe see a lot of them start to run away, and you feel like a group fitness instructor. It's really good.
And you actually think that's funny?
I think it's hilarious. Absolutely. What's not funny is them illegally.
There you have it, everybody. One of the worst people I've seen here at CPAC, and that's saying something.
Cruelty is the point. The cruelty is the point. This is about more than immigration policy. People can reasonably disagree on what an orderly system of legal immigration looks like, what it means to stand in line and wait your turn. This is about something more. This is about the dehumanization of human beings, what that does to people directly impacted because they're being dehumanized, and what it does to the rest of society that sees the dehumanization happen and either does stand up against it or sits back and does nothing about it. You know, I don't think that the US is immune to the failure of democracy. It can happen here. We're not exceptional in that sense. But the US is exceptional in the sense that we have a Statue of Liberty with a plaque that reads, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free." There's something very unique about that. Anywhere in the world, we are exceptional in that sense. Right now, we're in the midst of a pitched battle between 2 visions of the future of this country. Whether we will continue, despite our really flawed history, whether we will continue to at least try to be a nation of immigrants, a multiracial democracy, and grow into that vision, or whether we become a closed white nationalist society. I really appreciate that over and over in the second Trump term, I've heard this poem, first they came for the communists, they came for the trade unionists and the Jews, and I did not speak out. Then they came for me and there was no one left for me. It's going to be really important to remember those lessons as things potentially get worse and worse. But we also need to remember who this is happening to right now, whose families are being torn apart, who is living in fear and afraid to come outside. That's why I think these ICE protests are so important, and all of us, whether or not we have one generation or many generations in this country, need to be out there standing up against what ICE is doing. But it also means standing up to the degradation and dehumanization of fellow human beings wherever and whenever we see it.